Hey everybody, this is Lance, and this is a little unusual because I'm actually doing this video with my voice and not doing a voiceover. So I'm kind of doing this in real time with the video. And I got this from Hobby Lobby, and this is just a candle sconce, a candle holder, and it has this kind of wrought iron hardware that I've taken out. And I just had to get a needle nose plier to get the nut that was on the back of that out, and but anyway, I took that off so that I can work on this. And I'm going to do some things mixing the fabric sculpture that I did in one of my last pieces, the piece that I did for the Color Art Spring event, and we're going to mix maybe even some molding paste and make this kind of a nautical theme in the end is what I think I'm going to do with it. And anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I cut my piece of fabric and I'm going to wet it with my slurry mix that you saw in the other video. And if you want to know more about that, you can watch the other video, and it gives you more of a in-depth detail about how I mix Mod Podge and Plaster of Paris and some joint compound together to make the slurry that will cause this fabric to harden. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to soak this in that mix, and then I'm going to put it on here, and then we're going to just kind of position the fabric kind of how we want it, and then you just got to let it dry. Now, I am coating this with the mixture, the initial mixture that has a lot of glue in here, so it'll make our initial design, how we position the fabric, and stay in that position. I have some of the spackle that I used in this did not. I needed to use liquid spackle and I did not, but it's okay because when we sand it down, it gets rid of all that anyway. It's just, it would make it a lot less, there'd be a lot less things to sand down if I had used the liquid spackle, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. I kind of like it because I kind of like the texture to not be super perfect, because we're using a cotton fabric like a sheet, it is pretty smooth and perfect looking anyway when you make this design. Now you can use things like burlap, kitchen towels, things that have a heavier tooth to the fabric, and it will give you a different look. But I wanted this to have more of a sleek, smoother look. So you want to choose a fabric that has a tighter woven weave to the fabric pattern, not something that is kind of bulky. So that's enough for now. And the beauty of this is you don't have to be too, Pollyanna perfect right now at this point, because you're just trying to get it on there, let it dry, and then we'll work with it some more after that. And then we're going to do our fluid art design. And as I'd mentioned in my last video, that was a video where I did some swiping that was reminiscent of Heather Mader and Gail Burston. I am pivoting my name of my channel, and the new name is going to be Lance's Fluid Art Fusion. So Fluid Art Fusion is going to be the name of my channel, because I will be implementing some mixed media and combining mixed media with fluid art, because that's kind of what I've always liked to do anyway. So you kind of just got to, go with what you're drawn to, and that is kind of where my heart is. So I will be doing fluid art, but I will also be doing it with mixed media or doing things in different ways because I like to put a twist on things sometimes. And that's just me. You know, you either gravitate towards it or you don't. But I just kind of like to do what I like to do. Okay, so that's enough of me rambling in real time. And so here I am just positioning the fabric now that I've gotten the slurry mix kind of evenly coated on it. And I'm also showing that you can use a pin to kind of pierce the fabric. You want to pinch it to create the pleating action so that it creates the style lines that you need from the fabric. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And as you can see there, I'm putting the pin through the fabric just to kind of keep that pinching there, kind of help things stay in place. And so that's just a little tip if you're using this kind of fabric treatment and you're wanting a certain look to, you know, the lines of pleating in the fabric. That's just something that you can do to help keep it there. And now we're just cutting the excess fabric off from the back. And you need a pretty good, I use a pretty good durable pair of shears to do that. And the way it cleans it up, tidies it up in the back. I did another little draping of fabric across the bottom to try to cup the bottom of the candle holder that will be on the sconce. And I'm just taking some fine grade sandpaper now that it's all dry and hardened, and just smoothing it down, you know, giving it that kind of, you know, polished stone look to the hardened fabric. And now we're going to tape off the fabric once things are dry and just make sure we get clean lines for our fluid art that we're going to do now. And I'm going to show you kind of a treatment that I did. The idea that I had with the fluid art was to use kind of like a Dutch pour technique and blow out some paint to create this kind of watery feel. But I used some fire opal in with the blues just to kind of give it another contrasting color, which I thought might be a good idea, and sometimes it is on certain things that you do, but not so much for this watery look that I wanted for this fluid art. But it's kind of entertaining to see me struggle with this a little bit. Not loving it, looking at it and trying to blow it out with my hose there, and still not really loving it. And it's looking a little too busy for me too, for the watery effect that I wanted for this nautical themed candle sconce. So I keep trying though, and I try to do the same thing in the upper half, and trying to do a little bit of a wave feeling up there, you know, with it curling around the top. And you know, that fire opal, I love that color, but not so much in watery things. You know, I thought, well, it would just be an interesting thing to have there, but for me it's just too distracting. So I swiped the bottom part of this with my white that I already had mixed up with regular Floetrol, and I think I had a little bit of glue mixed in with it too, so that it wasn't selling up so much. And I like the way that looked for sand. So this bottom portion is representing sand, and I'm blowing out some of the white through there just to kind of give it some interest and contrast to the bottom portion. That's going to be where our seashells are going to live in a little bit. We'll show you how I put those in a little bit, but since I wasn't loving what I did with the blowout, I decided to do some good old traditional swiping. So I got my blues out only, got rid of any of the fire opal or any of the warm tones of gold, and just used my 3 blues and kept it simple, and used some Amsterdam titanium white with my Aussie Floetrol, and made, you know, some cell activator, and just swiped with some damp pieces of paper towel, and made a much better solution to this, and gave me much more that feeling of kind of watery, kind of surf effect, like ocean surf. So Sorry for my big old hand there in the way, but yeah, I like this much better. I like the swipes through these metallic colors were beautiful, and I'll try to leave my colors in the description box. And yeah, this was a much better solution, and I'll let you listen to some tunes as I finish up doing the swipes for this. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the rest of what we're going to do to finish this ocean themed candle sconce. This video is part of the Friday with Friends group this evening, and right after me will be Mary of Acrylic Art by Mary Kurt, and after her will be Janet of Acrylic Creations by Jay Whitty. Be sure and check everybody's videos out. If you've missed anyone, I will have the playlist in my description box. I'd also love it if you'd subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave me a comment because I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, somewhere I'll go run and hide, looking for a new start. Looking for a new start. Don't wanna be trapped, don't wanna be down.
I'm just taking some Liquitex metallic white and brushing it on the fabric because I want that fabric to have kind of a pretty sheen to it, just to kind of dress it up a little bit, since this is going to be like part of home decor, and hopefully give this fabric sculpture some beautiful shine and sheen and sparkle when the candle reflects off of it. That's the goal anyway. And I was just thinking, you know, as I was doing it, you know, obviously the swipes represent the water and the ocean surf crashing, and then I think the fabric to me represents maybe like a sail from a ship, and that gives it that nautical feel. And now I'm just hot gluing some starfish, sand dollars, shells to the kind of the horizon line of what is the sand. You know, what is our sand there, and you want to put it, and I know it looks like I'm putting it along, you know, why is he putting it along just the line of the horizon there where the water is meeting the sand? Well, it's because the hardware takes up a good deal of the sand, what is the sand space down there, and now you can see it. And so with the candle, I wanted the shells to be right there where the candle kind of lights it up and gives it attention. And I think this turned out beautiful with the hardware. I like the rustic kind of wrought iron feel of that hardware, you know, kind of contrasted with the kind of elegance of this piece, because I kept things, you know, the seashells are white. I didn't want them to be other colors. I wanted to kind of stay a bit classy and not get too, you know, beach kitschy. So I think it turned out beautifully, and you can see there the bottom piece. I like how that metallic white looks kind of pearlized, and the reflection that it gives from the candle is, I think, kind of a beautiful thing, and I'm really pleased with it. And I hope that you maybe will take something like this and use some of your fluid art skills to transform it. And once again, thank you for being here, and please come back and see me again real soon.